We're going to move from one powerful motivational speaker to a very energetic and another exciting lady who I'm sure is going to give us the time of our lives. We're going to hear now from Rochelle Cameron. Yes. What can I say? The thing turn up way up. Them say up like seven. Yes, up like seven. For the young people, up like seven. And for those who don't understand, it's because they're seven up. So we turn it around and said up like seven instead of seven up. Yeah? All right. So Rochelle is the Vice President of Legal and Regulatory Affairs at Flow. She's an attorney at law and Vice President of, well, I said that already, Legal and Regulatory Affairs at Flow, Jamaica, Cayman, and Trinidad and Tobago. She was called to the Jamaican bar in 1998 and has over a decade of experience in the telecommunications industry as in-house counsel for cable and wireless businesses across the Caribbean. Rochelle is focused on the development of people and is the chairman of Flow's Employee Engagement Committee, a role which helps to foster her unswerving commitment to creating an environment where colleagues are fully engaged and motivated to deliver excellent customer service. Rachel is going to share with us today on the topic, Send the Elevator Back Down. Welcome her, please.
Good afternoon, everybody. So we are to be our authentic selves. So I'm going to be vulnerable for a moment here. I'm actually painfully shy. No, seriously, me shy. So I'm painfully shy. So like whenever I have to do this, I have to call up my friends, and I had to go in the bathroom early and I had to talk to myself and I said, my girl, can do this, you know, man. Can do this. So I called a friend of mine and I said, it's almost time. And she's like, who's speaking before you? And I said, Ensom Bijaja. She said, oi. She said, well, I'm sure you'll be fine. Isn't she amazing? She is just amazing. So ladies, because of who we are able to, you know, sometimes, man, because I think them suits sometimes tight, and the pants are so tight nowadays, they can't have as much fun as we can. So, because we know, so the thing, up like seven. It's up, it's way up. Everybody on your feet, man. Make we get the blood pumping.
I want Friday. Next thing.
Yo, Ching. Anybody now do the dance here? Nasty. Weird. Won't it?
Hey, na. Chainsaw stuck in a boat. No one. How a new dance. A ching fine again. Around the street and the lane and round the bend. We up. At the name and the title. Divided them with the blind and the cripple. And I don't know how the street them love it. The dance name. We up. We up. We up. We up, we up, and if you're not to the dance, you're in a handcuff again. We up, we up, we up, we up, we up. After me say we up and see up, some boy gonna sit down. Lick up on table that you know fi put down. Girl, it's no time for your wine and go down. We up and see up at the dance you do now. You know your talso, how is the cloud? We up and see up how the dance is so loud. Every man and woman them a do it in the crowd. We up on no one like.
But as we go up in the elevator, because sometimes we go up in the elevator and we stay up on the top floor and we don't send it back down. So today I'm going to be talking about two things. Going up in the elevator and ensuring it comes back down, but also when the elevator comes back down that you step into the elevator. Very important. And that you recognize that the elevator has actually gotten there. So you've been pressing. When it comes, step in there. So, what is a mentor? A mentor is someone who sees more talent and ability within you than you see in yourself and helps bring it out in you. So yesterday I heard us talking a lot about female bosses and working with women. And for some people it seemed like having a female boss was just like their worst nightmare. My experience has actually been very different. So I started working as a clerk of courts in the beautiful parish of Chillon. Anybody here from Chillon? And I remember my first day of court, so I would have just left law school. So I come in my crisp suit, because I'm a lawyer. And the first case that I did, the police laughed me to scorn. Laugh after me. And thereafter, they took me under their wings. And these were people that became my initial mentors. So they hadn't studied law, but they actually knew it better than I did. I worked with 2 female judges that after each evening, after each session, they'd actually sit with me and talk me through just better ways of cross-examining, teaching me. So I actually just wanted to be Chief Justice of Jamaica because I just wanted to practice in the courts. Because you know the lawyer gown that we wear, it come like it just throw it round. And that's all I wanted to do. So a friend of mine was working at Cable and Wireless, and she said to me that a position had come up and she thought that I'd be good for it. But I said, I'm not interested in corporate law. I don't know what they do in the days, all day. I'm not interested. But you know what? She had gotten in the door and she hadn't closed it. She saw an opportunity, something that she thought I would do well in, and she said, why don't you rope in? She roped me in. She had to write up my resume for me because I'm not interested. Anybody knows Camille Facey? So Camille Facey was my first boss at Cable and Wireless. So when I went to do the interview, remember I'd been in the criminal bar, so I wasn't doing contracts and so on. And you know why she said she hired me? She liked my energy. I thought interested. And she said to me, I'm trying to build a team with energy, with people who understand to work with people, people who will build relationships. So it actually had nothing to do with how much law I knew, because you know I would pick up enough of it along the way. So she opened that door for me, and I stepped in, and having opened that door, she actually trained me up to be able to do her job, and was able to transition me into her job. So, having experienced the open elevator, what do I have a duty to do? Send it back down. I say, Lisa, I used to know her as Lisa Officer. Lisa Lewis. Lisa Lewis was also at Cable and Wireless. And Lisa Lewis always used to pull me into HR things. She's like, you talk nice, man. Come on and do the something then. And she opened opportunities for me. So this elevator thing is really about opportunity creation, but also seizing the opportunity. So I say to you that as women, wherever we are now, we actually have a duty to be the best leaders we can be, to be the best colleague. So we can throw out all of these notions of, no, me no want to work with no woman, me not have woman friend, them are going to tear you down. Because are we talking about? Are we talking about ourselves? And what are you doing to build up? Who have you built up recently? Who have you reached out to recently? So something as simple as, so this morning, I think we're talking earlier about things that popped you out of bed. Now, I will admit that I have some superficial ways. Me just love dress up, me, personal. So this morning, I have one mirror in my office. This morning I was talking to somebody, and when I saw my reflection, me say, oh, you manage work with me. I'm like, you look good. I'm like, different, you know, man. And when you come in, everybody just look on you. If you say, you look good, girl. You look good. I went to a function recently, and as I was scripting my way across, these two taxis came up and two young ladies came out of it, very bashy. And when one of them come out, she said, "Good girl, Queenie." There's something that affirms you. Good girl, Queenie. I mean, I was just like, wow, man. And then the other one said, "Goody, goody." So ladies, we have to affirm each other. Affirm yourself and affirm each other. Can I get the next slide? New mentors. We are all mentors in some frame or form. Whether it is in a very structured environment or just in our day-to-day being, we are mentors. But as we seek to get mentors, we have to start with knowing ourselves. Next slide, please. And give me the other one. So these two little children, that is me and my brother. If you ever see it, so we put up in picture. So I'm born on August 20th and he's born on August 30th. So you know we had all our birthdays together. So I was 6 and he was 3. This was in between our two birthdays, a cherry tree in my grandmother's yard in Lucky Hill, St. Mary. So there are a couple of things I know about myself. I'm a country girl. I come from a family that everybody does love big. When we hug, we squeeze you. We hug and squeeze. We do everything pumped up. We just give it our all. And I put up this picture because you notice how I'm kind of looking down in it? Because that was when you never did have camera, only for camera. So you remember when you never have camera, you're supposed to be beside a bush like this? Remember? Nowadays with selfie, you're like, that time we prayed a camera. So there's a video that I just want us to play, because as we ponder on who we are.
You are beautiful. You are smart. You are funny. You are kind. You are unique. You are worthy of love and affection. You are never too much, and you are always enough. You are precious. You are a diamond, a rose, a pearl, the most stunning of all God's creation. You are worth more than you could ever imagine. Worth more than the numbers on the scale, or the hair product you use, or the shoes you wear. More than how many girls wish they were you, or how many guys wish they had you. More than the price tags on your clothes, or the percentage at the top of your math test, or even the number of followers you have on Twitter. Your worth surpasses all earthly things, because in the eyes of the Lord God, you are loved, and you are worth dying for. Regardless of who you think you are. Whether you model in a magazine, or you model pottery with grandma. Whether you're on the hot list or the not list. Whether you're head cheerleader or a high school dropout. Whether you're Miss Popular or you've never had anyone you could call a friend. Whether you love yourself and love your life, or you can't stand to look in the mirror and you feel as if everything in your life is falling apart. Whether you're such a winner or you feel like the world's biggest failure, regardless of who you think you are. The reality is that you deserve someone who would give up their life for you, because you are powerful and strong and capable. Read about the women in the Bible. Esther, Ruth, Martha, Mary. These women changed the world forever. And inside of you, each and every one of you is a woman with that same power and that same strength and that same world-changing capability. And your responsibility is to find that woman and to set that woman free. This is who you are. And any voices in your mind that try and tell you differently are from the enemy. And the next time you hear them, this is what you say. You say, "Nuh-uh, not me, Satan. I am a daughter of the living God, cherished, loved, and adored above all things by the Creator of all things for the glory of Him who is greater than all things. I am awesome." And please, don't you forget it.
Forget it, because mentorship of self begins here. It's all in your head. You have to believe that you are awesome. Not just amazing, you are awesome. You are your royalty. Your royalty. You're driving in your car and you stop at the stop sign. Remind yourself, you're like, I am a queen. I am a daughter of the king. I am the daughter of the king. I'm awesome. Why are you awesome? You're not, and you know, sometimes there's a voice in your head that says, but. You know, I'm doing pretty well and I'm moving up in the organization, but only if I were to get this, a new laptop, then maybe then I could be awesome. But what if you chose this moment and you looked within yourself right now and you owned that you are awesome? You're currently awesome. You were born awesome. You're born awesome. Turn to the person beside you. Turn, man. Will you say, I am awesome? I am awesome. Can you see that voice in your head that tries to tell you otherwise? Shut it down. You won't be more awesome if you lose 10 pounds because you're awesome now. You currently are awesome. And you have to own it, because that is the way you're able to also receive mentorship. Because when people tell you you are so bright and you're so amazing, but there's something that's translating that in the back of your mind and saying, but you never knew how hard my life was. You never knew that I didn't have a father. You never knew that my mother didn't love me. But suppose you just lived right now. You're here right now at the JPS Powerful Women's Conference, Women of Energy. You get to be here. You're awesome. Microphone also. The woman I was yesterday introduced me to the woman I am today, which makes me very excited about meeting the woman I will become. Growing. We are constantly growing. Our dreams are getting bigger. We have to be walking in that growth. And there are times and seasons for every kind of thought, for every kind of mentor that you will have in your life. But know that you are a constant work in progress. You're just constantly being molded into the further perfection that you are. Isn't that amazing? Yes. Popcorn! You have to know your cheerleaders. So my mother's name is Marcia Cameron, and she's awesome. So everybody that know me well know that I'm a baller, not footballer. Like something happen, me not really hold it in, so me not suffer from no heart attack. Me cry. Me cry. And you see when I call and I silent, And she goes, my angel. So my mother telling me from my born, say me Miss Jamaica, you know. So you have to understand, say, like I actually believe the only reason we never enter because I did there at Barbados at law school and so we don't really have no time. Otherwise, I would have actually. I have it. So ladies, one of the key things that we have to do is that we have to be cheerleaders. We have to be cheerleaders for all the young women around us. We're the Westwood girls. So one of the key things is to remember, because there's something, Renee and I were talking about it this morning. When we're born, boys and girls are born, and we're both born with the same power. What is it that transitions in our life? That changes that we start smalling ourselves and stop, but we don't lean in naturally. What is it that happens? And mothers in here, I actually don't have any children. And don't hold it against me. The other day a lady asked me, you don't have any children? And I was like, no. She's like, you don't like children? But you know, when you reach a certain age, discussion of your womb, people think they're free to discuss your womb. Seriously? So we have. Cheerleading, like as mothers, knowing that your daughters are born powerful, it's something that you have to foster in them through their life. Yes. Why is it that we girls are always being taught etiquette? You need more etiquette than man? No. You can Google it nowadays, you know. Why do boys not go to etiquette classes? We always have to learn more etiquette. We have to learn to use knife and fork better than men. Why aren't we being taught things that infuse power in us? So please, I am encouraging you and your daughters, it starts with you, you know. You have to tell them constantly, you are powerful beyond measure. You are large, you're a big deal. We have to pump them up, and we have to do that with our friends. How many of you have a crew of girlfriends? We're not talking man friend them, because that's a different thing you talk about with man. Your girlfriends. You know your girlfriends that they're there for you, for the successes. They can read you when you're down. They know when not to say anything at all. But they can also recognize that you're in a rut. And they say to you, what are we going to do now? So you don't like your job, but you have a mortgage to pay, so you can't exactly leave it today. But what are the plans that you're making? I read the other day about Michelle Obama, and she was working in a high-powered law firm, but she wanted to do community work. So having made that choice, she decided that she couldn't just leave the job and say she's going to look community work. She actually had to set herself up in places to be able to meet the right network of people to get her into community work. So what did she do? She went to her partners and she said, is it possible for you to reassign me? I will do extra hours so I can do work for these NGOs, so that she would get her foot in the door. So they're like, but you have all of this other work to do. She's like, don't worry, I won't sleep. I don't need to be paid for it. So you need to be prepared to volunteer your time. Because it doesn't just happen. Because people like to associate themselves with success, you know. people like to associate themselves with success. So you need your cheerleading group, and you are cheerleaders yourselves. Many of you have teams, you're parts of teams. When you're able to see a skill set or a gift in somebody, do you point it out to them? Yes. Do you point it out to them? Yes. And you must point it out because you have a duty to, because ladies, this is how we build up ourselves. They talk about the old boys club. What about the young girls club? Huh? Many of us, we all went to high school. Are we involved in our alumni associations? Are we present? No, we're not doing enough. So we're going to cuss the old boys club, because what they do is they're not afraid to gather together one bag of man in our room. Just to talk amongst themselves. We can't be afraid of this kind of gathering, because this is where our power is fed. This is the grid right here. So you have to get the right people in your corner, because you won't get there quickly on your own. And you know, you have some team or some friends who are some lion. That when you tell them you got a problem, they're like, roar! You know those girlfriends. And those girlfriends that sometimes you get one bad email and you type up one next email because you got done the person with your email. You got done them. And when you type it up, the Jesus says, Rashid! Send that mail out now and just ask for feedback. And the feedback comes with a call, just in case you didn't see the response mail. And the feedback is like, delete! Delete! Yeah, because you need your people. Next slide for me, Popcorn. You have to be open to feedback and learning, and you have to go looking for it. I just need you to see the next slide so we can see what feedback needs. Popcorn? Michael didn't have any friends. Because you need a couple of friends to say, my girl, you're changing. You're looking real different. Yeah, because you have to be open to feedback. And sometimes, you know, people assume certain sensitivities about us as women. And I actually think I'm a very sensitive person. But in seeking feedback, we have to be able to take the feedback. So when somebody says to you, you know, you really need to push harder, we really think you're underperforming, the response can't be, do that after you've left the room with your friends, okay? And then get some feedback from them. Because you actually, at each time in your life, you need to know, you have to do temperature checks to see where you are. And that's the beauty too with mentorship, that you have to have people that you can trust, that will speak to you, that will give you feedback. And as mentors, we have to know how to give feedback. We have to know that feedback is necessary. And feedback is not criticism. And some people, when you're mentoring, you have to know the voice that you need to use so that you're actually building them up. Next slide, please. Michael didn't have any friends. Building a coalition. So we talk about building a network of people. But I like to consider it building a coalition. Because nowadays, so Oprah is one of my mentors. She hasn't had the pleasure of meeting me yet. She hasn't, but if she were to, we would get along fine and Gail would be out. So I say that I look up to her. So what do I do about it? I read different things that she writes. I watch her shows. So when you say that somebody inspires you, what are you doing about building that coalition? Within this room, do you know how many amazing, powerful women are here? And don't watch titles, because sometimes you only focus on the CEO part of it, and you don't know. You have to have the conversation. So even how this conference has been fostered in a way that it forces us to talk to each other. And guess what? The administrative assistant that is right beside you now is the future CEO. Make friends. Build your coalition. When you say that you are inspired by someone, what about them inspires you? Know that where they reach, they did work hard to get there. Because you know one of the things, the tough things about life, you know you have to work hard every single day. You have to work hard every single day. But you know what you also have to do? When you're talking about work hard, you work hard at everything. And you work hard at building your team, building your coalition, building that group of people that inspire you, building the look and feel of who do I want to be? And guess what? Some of us don't want to be a CEO. And it's okay, because that's not where your dream lies. So about my coalition. So I told you about communication, I told you about Lisa. I've also had some male bosses that have really been great mentors for me, because I think it's very important that we have good relationships with men, because we have to work with them together. Because you see, when we all sit down with people at the table, do you know how powerful organizations can be? And the reality is that we don't need to try to be men, you know. Make we try to be women, just make we start with that, to try to be women. Next slide, please. And this is what I talk about. Sometimes your mentors, when you're beaten and you're broken and you don't want to go any further, they're like, come on, we got work to do. You have mentors and this coalition for different times in your life. And for me now, one of the things is that I'm known as an orchid murderer. So I'd get orchids and I'd murder them. But my dream was to be an orchid lady. You go to Jamaica Orchid Society, you see the orchid ladies, they're so fabulous. I just wanted to be an orchid lady. And I met a lady at the show last year, and she said to me, you can do this. She didn't even know that this was something I wanted to do, and she became a mentor. So when we talk about mentorship, it's not just your career, I'm talking about your life here. And I want you to know that I'm the proud owner of many live orchids, and they are blooming. Next slide. You have to connect courageously. So I know many of you are here today, and you're looking at, you see, Amina Israel in her bad red jacket, her bad. And you're like, I've always wanted to meet Minna, but you see that red, I cannot talk to her. You can, and she wants to talk to you. You have to be bold about making your connections. Popcorn, give me the bold. You have to be bold. Sometimes you have to have a song that make you feel bold. Like when you're coming out of the car to come to JPS Women Conference, you have to play it so that you stop shaking in your boots. have to roar upon it. Roar upon the fear. So ladies, I'm getting my time signal, and because, like Ensemble, I'd like to come back. Just a few words to leave you with. Popcorn, I know I'm working you hard. Next slide. The greatest good you can do for another is not just to share your riches, but to reveal to him his own. And let me just wrap up with this. Remember what we talked about. You have to know yourself. Know your cheerleaders. Be open to feedback and learning. Build your coalition. Connect courageously. Roar upon the fear. And like Oprah Winfrey, my feet are still firmly on the ground. They're just wearing better shoes. So ladies, as I be my authentic self, I know many of my church sisters are here. Please don't tell Pastor David, but one of my favorite songs. Like really, like, you know, sometimes when I hear it, like I'm like, hey girl, it's my jammy jammy. So I just want to leave you with my jammy jammy. You know, Conscience has this song, Walk and Wine.
Watch your girl left, watch your girl left, baby. Watch your girl left, watch your girl left, watch your girl left. Girl, you too hot, fit on up in a one spot. Walk out, make everybody see your body. When your favorite song drop, broke out 'cause you no theater, see nobody. You don't own no girl, you don't have no girl clothes. So next time when the video man pass, walk up in the light and pose.